Hi, I'm Stephen here from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to look at the Gillo shipment. Now, Gillo, do you know anything about Gillo? I knew so little about Gillo that it's not even worth mentioning. So why am I doing this video? Because it's just come into my store. Now, Gillo is an Italian company, and you're thinking, well, Italy produces archery gear. It's a very specific company as far as it specializes in bare bow, recurve, I'm going to say risers. Now, also, they do target recurve risers, and I'm going to say one of the most famous recurve archers, Frangilli, shoots for Gillo. Now, he obviously shot in many Olympic Games. I'm not going to go into it because I don't know much about it, but I obviously know him. He's been shooting for a number of years, and when I say a number of years, like it feels like forever. It feels like 30 years he's been shooting the Olympic competition, and maybe longer. But he's been at a very high standard, and he obviously shoots an Italian bow, which is kind of cool because it's his country's bow. So I think that's cool. So this is the first thing I'm going to show you. So this bow has been put together. It's one of my staff's bows who shoots recurve bare bow. So the first thing about this is the G25 Riser. So 25 inches, and Gillo produce risers from 19 to 29 inches. Do they produce the 31-inch riser? Maybe. So they produce right from the short hunting risers right up to longer risers. This would be their most popular riser, the 25-inch, so it's kind of standard. Now what he's fitted down here is this blade. It looks like an axe handle, so if you're in the woods and you want to chop down trees and you're getting bored, or you're just annoyed, like I've seen many people at shoots, you can go and chop down a tree. Now it's actually not sharp, but it looks sharp. Now the blade itself is just a weight, and it's bolted on by these two plates. These two plates are separate. So, and under these plates, hopefully we've got another 25 back there to show you what it looks like without this on. There's holes under here, so you can add even more weight. Now why do you want weight on the riser? You want weight on the riser because with a bare bow recurve you can't add stabilizers. So what you're trying to do is add weight down the bottom here to make this bow sit straight up and down in your hand. As you can see, this does, because there's so much weight down the bottom here. Now what's unique about the 25 is this limb pocket here. You can wind it in or out like a compound. And you're going to say, well, you can do that on a normal recurve. Not really. This pocket here pivots. So like that, like a compound. And from a video done by Jake Kaminsky, the poundage is adjustable from 34 pounds to 54 pounds on a set of 44 pound limbs. So it gives you massive weight adjustment. With a normal recurve bow, you get about 2 pounds either side. With this, it's very simple. These little rubber dampeners here will absorb a bit of shock. And with recurve bare bow, you're not allowed to add rubber dampeners. You can add them to the limbs, but not to the riser. But this limb pocket is really a thing of beauty in the way they've done it. Now, overall, the quality of the bow looks amazing. It comes in sort of nice colors. The graphics here is nice. This here is nice. It comes with the clicker plates, so you can shoot at sights or bare bow. Price point is pretty good on this. Oh, here's little lines here so you can see all the alignment. It's going to sell about the same price as all the other machine risers, so around $1,000. That's Australian dollars. You can see the little holes here for adding weights. Look, it's really nice. Now we're going to do a review on this later and compare this to the other bare bow recurve risers, but let's have a look what else is in the Gillo shipment that just arrived. Okay, so this would be a weight. And now the problem for me is, like I'm looking at this, now if this is going to sit up on my shelf, it's hard to see what it is. Now if you own a shop, you're probably going to know what this is, but I'm going to guess if I've got 16 staff working in my shop, there's probably going to be one staff member who knows what's inside this box. But I'm pretty sure it's a weight which goes down the bottom of the riser which bolts on. It's not particularly heavy. The but that's... These are the little weights that go into the riser that bolt on. These are fairly light. Then you have heavier ones here. Now you see here Gillo's using the same packaging for all their products. So they're basically taking their product and putting it in standard packaging. Maybe that's okay. Maybe we as shop owners will get used to what the items are, and maybe as a shooter, a barebow shooter, you know what you're after anyway, so it's just a matter of ordering what you want, and then we go to the shop and pick it. There's another, that's that black bracket that we just saw on the riser here. It's got a weight also internal, so you don't need to buy the blade. The blade's just for if you're getting bored at a local archery shoot. Kind of joke about that, but how many times at a shoot have you seen a person throw their bow in disgust of their latest shoot? I remember there's a person I used to shoot with when I was a junior. His name was Ashley. So he's a great shooter, like, you know, Australian champion and that sort of stuff. Anyway, he was at a shoot and he shot so bad he threw his bow down and said, "I don't want it anymore." Anyway, I think the guy, the coach, picked up the bow and said, "Well, I'll take it then because you don't want it." Anyway, after the shoot, his mum, the kid's mum came up to him, the kid who's now 17, came up to the coach and said, "Well, I want the bow back." And he said, "No, he threw it away. He doesn't want it anymore." So it's like... Anyway, so there's another one. So you can see this is a light alloy. It's not the shiny silver. So I suppose when you're buying this stuff, like in the specs, it will be written up about the weight of each item. And also the... So this is alloy. See there, it's got AL on the code. So I assume that's alloy, where the other one will be stainless. Now these are the hammers. These things are heavy. SS for stainless steel. Very clever company to come up with this. So these little hammers, so you can change the angle and change the balance and the way it sits. Comes with 2 in the packet. Very nice, high quality product. Patches, pins, so you can stick it on your hat and on your shirt and stitch it on stuff. Now with COVID, face masks are in our state necessary for all retail. This is the Gillo face mask. I don't know what this is going to do to stop COVID. I think probably very little. I'm not taking the piss out of Gillo for it. Because in our state, in Australia, you just have to wear a face mask. It doesn't say what it is. It doesn't say it has to be a certain standard, which I kind of find funny because I used to be in the health industry, and it's like we bring out this stupid legislation with no research, and you can put this on your face and be perfectly compliant. In our state, there's a $5,000 fine for the business if a person comes in without a face mask. This Gillo, this is for your strings. It's a roll-up pouch where you put all your strings in. I don't know if it'll sell or not. So when you try your first company, you just get a whole bunch of the products and sort of see what sells and how popular. Okay, the Gillo bucket hat. So if you're shooting in a high heat, high sun area, bucket hats are really good because it keeps the sun off your ears and stuff. This looks kind of shiny and it's very light. I don't know if it's not, it feels like kind of polyester. And let's hope that zooms in. Which says it's polyester. Most of our bucket hats in Australia are cotton. I don't know how polyester will be on your head in a 40-degree heat, but it's a bucket hat. Shooter shirt, which is a pretty standard black shirt with a little logo on it. It's actually a nice cotton. That's quite a thick fabric, and Gillo on the back, Gillo on the front. I'm kind of wondering, do they use Italian shirts or do they use Chinese shirts? It kind of looks like it's an Italian shirt. Although I can't see where it's made, but it's got the little colours there. But it's a nice high quality shirt. So hoodies, like for a small company, and I don't know how big Gillo is, but I can tell you they ship really fast. So at the moment in COVID, it's very hard to get stock. You know, companies are talking 7-month lead time to get stock. So at the moment we have orders with most companies, and it's just a matter of waiting for them to come in. So here's your hoodie. It's a zip up. It's nice material. It's very soft. Pockets there for your face masks. Gillo on the back. Like it's a nice sort of sweatshirt. It's nice and soft. Nice. Okay, so this is the G25. It comes with a little package there for your clicker and Allen keys and stuff, which is nice. Comes with a little band. I don't know what you do with that. Obviously stick it on your wrist. I don't know why you would, but comes with some instructions, which is really nice because it's in English. So I don't know what they do for people in Italy, but it's nice to have English instructions, and I don't know if anyone will read them, but they look very comprehensive about all their products and how they fit on. It's nicely printed. The pocket it comes in looks a high quality, and it's got padding inside to make it nice and soft. So this is the red one. This is the holes that I spoke about, and this is where the thing bolts onto the riser here. That looks nice. So that's a 25. So another 25 in brown. Sorry, 29 inches. Look how long that is. I was like, this is long for 25. Looks like it's got about an extra 4 inches on it. Now, why do you want such a long riser? It's not a status symbol. Well, it might be. Finger pinch. So when you shoot barebow, you put your fingers under the arrow, and what that does, it creates pinch on the arrow. So it creates pressure on the arrow downwards because you've got 3 fingers below the arrow. By having a longer riser, a longer bow overall, it reduces the amount of pressure on the arrow forcing downwards. So if you're shooting a wire rest, that arrow is going to push down that arrow rest, and it's going to create a lot of pressure on that arrow rest. So by having a longer riser, less pressure on the arrow forcing downwards. So now if you've got a longer draw length, obviously less pressure as well. Shorter draw length, you're going to get less pressure on the arrow, but that's what the longer riser is for. Longer risers are a little bit more expensive than the shorter riser from memory. So this is a 27-inch riser, so obviously 2 inches more than the 25. Now 27-inch risers, I'm going to say, are relatively common for target archer, and they're not common, but you do see them for people who want longer than 70-inch bows. So people who want 72-inch risers will go for the 27-inch riser. Now there's not that many 27-inch risers on the market. There's a couple high-end, and there's one low-end 27-inch riser, but there's literally a handful of 27s. So that's that 27. You could either shoot it for barebow or for target. The grip's kind of interesting. It's not a traditional recurve grip. It feels a little bit wider than what I'd expect. Like, it's comfortable, but it just feels a little bit different. Still nicely finished product. The last riser is another 25. So now we haven't brought any of the hunting ones in because we didn't know whether hunters will want this type of riser. So we'll kind of see how they go. With new brands, when you bring them in, you don't know whether they're going to be successful or not, whether people will buy from, when I say buy from you, whether they'll be buying in Europe, whether it's a cheaper location. So it's all very much, you bring it in and see how it goes, you see how you price, how you're priced internationally. So we compared our pricing on these internationally with other suppliers, and our pricing looks pretty good. Gillo shipped fast. We didn't have any issues with it. The freight was great. So yeah, so that's all international fitting limbs. So any limb you can want to fit to it, you can. Gillo also have their own limbs. Now, I did get a question about, are we going to stock Gillo limbs? We'll probably put pricing up of them and so see if people want them or not. Because there's a lot of people shooting these risers, especially for bareboat, but the limbs are quite varied about what they're shooting. So we'll look at the limbs and see if there's demand for them, because they're top-end limbs. So most of the people who shoot limbs are shooting low-end limbs, like $200 limbs. The $1,000 limb is a small market. So that's Gillo. It's nice looking quality product. Grey riser. Obviously mats are in for Italians. So yeah, quite nice. Just looking at this, I thought this is quite forward. It's right in line with the grip. But quite a nice riser, and it's going to be interesting to see how Ryan shoots with this riser compared to his $200 riser, to see if he can add a few more points by spending some big bucks on a riser to try and buy himself a couple of points. So we'll see in a video whether he can do that. I'm Stephen Hand. Thanks for watching. Bye.